Connect. And we're live.
We're live?
We're live.
This thing is on. Hi. Hi, everybody. It's 1 o'clock here on Thursday. Rebecca Sweet behind the camera here. Todd and Cassie are on their way into the studio. We want to keep you up to date on everything that is related to the potential for some severe weather here through the afternoon. And we have some latest updates that Rebecca had done a Facebook Live, about an hour or so ago. But we wanted to give you an update because the Storm Prediction Center, who issues the big category risk for the country, has upgraded that risk. So when you ever see a risk like this across the country, there's a group of meteorologists in Norman, Oklahoma that issue this based on the dynamics of the atmosphere. And so they just want to give the big picture, and then of course local National Weather Services get in there, and they're the ones who are going to be issuing any of the severe thunderstorm warnings, or tornado warnings, or flash flood warnings, or anything like that. And that's we all take all that information, and now we're here to present that to you here on Facebook Live right now. So again, we've got a big risk. We've got all 5 categories. We've got 5 different categories with that severe weather risk. The green being the smallest risk, or category 1, and then the purplish color is going to be the higher risk. That's category number 5, and we've got that all the way down to Birmingham, into Mississippi, southern Middle Tennessee. Then in a big area of a category 4 that now has been expanded over to East Tennessee, and I'll show you what that looks like here as I zoom on in here. But again, we do have that risk. So this has been expanded over. Does that mean it's going to happen? No, absolutely not. Severe weather is like baking a cake. You've got to have all the ingredients together in order to get that cake to come out correctly, right? If you're missing one ingredient, you don't get the right cake. Severe weather is exactly the same way, and so it does look like we have all the ingredients starting to come together, but they haven't come together quite yet. Models, forecasts in the future, but the risk is there. And so we want you to understand that there is a risk for severe weather, damaging winds, and tornadoes through the evening hours. At this time, it does look like it's going to be between 6 p.m. and about 2 a.m. with a couple different rounds. We've been talking about that, about 3 rounds of rain today, 2 of those being severe. And as we get into the afternoon after the kids come home from school, listen, I've had plenty of people already write us, email us, call me, text me, saying, hey, listen, my kids come home from school and they're by themselves until I come home from work. That was me as a child as well. I was home all day until my parents got home from work. If your kids are doing that, I just want you to call them, check on them throughout the afternoon and evening, make sure that they're doing okay, make sure they understand what to do. You know, kids are going to get home on their devices and not pay attention to anything that's going on around them. They're going to be watching TV and not paying any attention to anybody around them or anything. And so you need to take that into your hands and make sure everyone's okay. But again, category 2, 3, and 4 do exist here in East Tennessee for that severe weather potential. Let's show you Skywatch 10 radar. This is, let's go back to that. Skywatch 10 radar, we've had a lot of rain. Over an inch of rain and some flash flood warnings now down into Bradley County, there in Chattanooga. Thunderstorms out there as well, but torrential rain. Some clearing is back off to our west, and that's not good news. If we see some sort of sunshine here before, as these rain showers can move on out, that's going to be terrible news, actually, because that destabilizes the atmosphere, and you need different ingredients, instability, and spin in the atmosphere to produce some of the severe weather, and that's really what it's looking like for the afternoon. Okay, so we talked about that risk for severe storms from the Storm Prediction Center, but then they break that down even further, okay, and we have a wind, a hail, and a tornado threat with these, okay? So I'm just going to show you the tornado threat right now. Don't worry about the colors and the numbers and the thing that looks like a jail. Just know that those hatch marks aren't necessarily a good thing. That just means there's even a little bit more elevated risk for severe weather when you see these black lines. It's called hatch marks in the 10 and 15% probabilities. Those are probabilities. And it sounds like 10 or 15% is on the low side, but when you talk about probabilities, it's actually pretty much on the high side. Okay, so we've got that risk. Okay, if we have a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch, what's the difference? Remember, a watch is we're watching for conditions. Conditions are starting to come together that we could see some severe weather. National Weather Service here in East Tennessee may do that here. A warning means that things are either happening right now or Doppler radar has indicated that. And so if you ever get a warning, especially a tornado warning, you have maximum of 15 minutes to take shelter. Maximum of 15. I mean, our technology has gotten great with giving us the guidance and the lead time to take shelter. But let's talk about our homes, right? We've got garages, bedrooms, bathrooms, stairways, hallways, kitchens, and decks. Here's the deal. We've highlighted the green areas. Those are the safest places to go. So if your kids don't know this, and we're going to post this on our social media page just so you can show it your kids. But stairwells, hallways, closets, interior rooms without windows if you possibly can. You know, if you have to tonight, which not necessarily saying that it's going to happen, but if it does happen, you need to take some blankets and cover yourselves and make sure everyone stays safe. Other things that you would take with you, bottled water, but of course your cell phone. If you have NOAA weather radios, those are going to be probably going off here later on tonight. But this thing right here is going to be your greatest tool. And here's the deal. We're going to be doing Facebook Lives all night long. We broadcast live on our app. Download the 10 News app if you don't have it. We will be broadcasting live on that app. So if you do need to go somewhere and take shelter, or if you're not around a TV, you can still watch us on 10 News on your cell phone and get all the latest information from Cassie and Todd later on this evening. All right, if you happen to have a basement, obviously that is going to be your best location to go in the event of severe weather. We've already talked about these apps. Mobileweather.gov, text, email messages. Social media is going to be great. Twitter is fantastic because Twitter is chronological. It's instantaneous. Set up your alerts for the download, or if you have Twitter, go to @WBIR Weather, and there's a little bell in the top right-hand corner. Click on that bell and sign up for the alerts. That will send you a notification, as long as you have your notifications on, to your cell phone whenever a severe thunderstorm warning pops up, whenever a tornado warning pops up, whenever we send out anything on social media. Twitter, it goes there as well. So check that out, or just join us on our Facebook page right here, and just make sure you refresh it every once in a while because it doesn't automatically refresh. All right, here's the Futurecast. Let's take it to 3 o'clock, okay? Kids are going to be wet, as some kids are going to be wet as they head home from school. And I don't think all of them. We're going to see some clearing back off to our west, but models indicating some clearing, and we're already seeing that over in the Middle Tennessee. So that's not good news if that were to happen. But I think the kids will be fine as they head home from school. No severe weather potential, I don't think, really, by 3:30, 4 o'clock. But as we get closer to 4, 5, 6 o'clock, that's when things begin to change. Evening commute is going to be an absolute mess, I think. And then here's 7 o'clock tonight. So between 6, 7, and 8 o'clock, we're going to get rounds of showers and thunderstorms. But this is the time that we actually have a lot of spin in the atmosphere. Between 6 and say about 10 o'clock at night, that's when we have our greatest spin in the atmosphere. When you add spin and you have a thunderstorm, thunderstorms get that rolling motion, it pulls that up and rotates the updraft, and you get spinning and rotating updrafts and thunderstorms. That creates supercell type thunderstorms, which are big giant machines that are operating with the environment around them, and they can spawn tornadoes. That is our greatest opportunity. I don't even want to say opportunity, but our greatest time frame that we would see. It's not an opportunity. We don't want this to happen at all. 9 o'clock tonight, again, showers and thunderstorms. And then we're going to be tracking the cold front that's going to be swinging its way into the area. Here's 10 o'clock tonight. Any of this, if this does take shape tonight, will or could produce at least damaging winds. It is going to produce torrential rain. We have a ton of moisture in the atmosphere. And as we tap into that, it gets rained down to the ground and produces torrential downpours, which could lead to localized flooding and or flash flooding. But I think as we get past 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning, that threat starts to die down, and we'll begin to see improving weather conditions. Real quick, we're going to talk about the flash flood watch and the wind advisories here in a second. Rebecca, while I get that up, anybody have any questions?
So everyone wants to know, well, not everyone, but I've had a few people ask in comparison to last week, why are we so much more severe?
So we just have more ingredients coming together at the same time. That's really about the extent of it. Last week, we were under that risk for severe weather. We did see a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, Thursday afternoon. But again, that just really is trying to pull all those ingredients together. This week, we have better correlation with all those ingredients.
Keep in mind, too, we talked to the National Weather Service. The last time that we had a moderate risk issued for East Tennessee was back in 2017. So it has been almost 5 years, 4 years.
And what happened in 2017?
It was a bust.
It was a bust.
It was a bust.
And
April
so,
5th.
Again, these are meteorologists. These are men and women working over in Norman, Oklahoma, trying to put together a big map of potential risks to keep everybody safe. That's their job, right? To protect life and property. That's what the National Weather Service does. That's what NOAA does. And then we need to pass that information along to us. We're all human beings. We're all taking some of the same information and putting it together, and realize that we're always predicting. When it comes to winter weather, severe weather, we're always predicting something that hasn't happened yet.
Well, and I think the best part about this, too, is I'd rather have people be over-prepared than under-prepared.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be stuck outside at soccer practice or baseball practice and see a severe thunderstorm warning come across on your phone. You already said earlier most of those practices are going to be canceled tonight, which is, again, going to be a huge part of the evening plans. But we're not trying to scare you. If anything, we're really just trying to prepare you.
Absolutely. Just so you have more the more you know. the better you are, right? All right, so, well, ignorance is bliss sometimes too, right? I guess flash flood watch in effect. This runs until tomorrow morning, much of East Tennessee under that. So we are going to be watching for the potential flash flooding. We've already had a ton of rain. And now we're going to get these thunderstorms that are going to produce even more torrential downpours as we tap into this moisture. High wind warning for the mountains. We can see gusts of wind in excess of 70 miles per hour across the high country. 441 over the Smokies has been closed temporarily due to the threat for these higher winds, and a wind advisory for the valley locations also running through tomorrow. So when you look at the impacts, we are talking about damaging winds, afternoon, evening, rain, of course, flooding, and heavy rain possible, and then tornado isolated, mainly Southern Valley and Plateau. It does look like it's going to be a little bit further to the west and southwest, but again, let's go back to these colors because I don't want everyone to think that these colors, oh, well, I was in the red, so that must mean I can get something, or I was in the green or yellow. Don't worry about the colors necessarily, but the more colorful it is, the more severe weather potential that we have for the afternoon. We're going to be doing live cut-ins on 10 News throughout the afternoon. If we need to break in during the shows and just go full weather, we're here for you, and that's what we're here to help you out and to help your family out. So we sure hope you have a great day. We hope you're safe. Any other questions before we go?
Nope, we're good.
We're good? You good?
Yep.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe and kind to each other.